planting one of my very favorite bush fruits, the currant. In this case, the black currant, and specifically the consort. Now, currants will grow all the way up into zone 3, but when you get down to around zone 7, you hit their southern limit, and there's less choices that will do well. And we're here in the Blue Ridge, beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains of Maryland. We're in zone 6B/7, so we're on that southern border for the currants. Now I've trialed, reds and whites and pinks and a number of the blacks, and it's come down to just a few that I find do well without a lot of care in our climate. So the consort was developed in the 1950s in Canada and is actually a cross of 2 different species of the currant. So it's quite unique. It's very robust. As you can see, this root system is from just 1 year of growth from a cutting. So they root really easily. Another very great characteristic of them. Now they do like a very juicy spot. They like a good soil, moist, needs to drain. They like it to be moist and rich, especially if you're going to have it in full sun, which is ideal in the sense that you're going to get the most productivity in full sun and probably less disease pressure. Now, if you don't have those perfect sort of juicy conditions, you might want to protect them from late afternoon hot sun. But we are planting them up here in the mountains, and we're making a really nice soil mix. Lots of good soil compost and minerals, topsoil in this. And we're going to also mulch heavily in this so that it's in full sun, still stays productive. Now, when you plant your currant bushes, just like your gooseberries, which is a very close cousin to the currant, you want to plant them a little bit deep. You want to come down a couple inches on the stem. So that's a little bit more submerged. And then as you add your soil in, make sure it's crumbly. Always make sure your soil is crumbly when you're adding, whenever you're planting anything. If you have big clods like this, you're going to get air pockets, and that can dry your roots out. So always have your soil prepared. Use your fingers, make sure that you're not having any air pockets in there. Put pressure down and get it all the way up. So on this black currant, I'm going to actually cut it back. I'm going to cut it back. I'm going to plant it 2 inches higher on the stems, and then I'm going to cut it back to 1 or 2 buds. That's typically 1 or 2 inches above the soil line. So now these are actually cuttings. I can go ahead and stick these back in the ground. I'd probably do about 8 inches, maybe 10 at the most. And I would submerge a good 8 of those, so there's just maybe 1 bud sticking above the ground, and that'll be able to come out and create a new plant. Black currants make the best jams, jellies, wines. They really add a lot of flavor. They're the best jam in our family. Kids love it. High in antioxidants, and they're beautiful bushes. So very upright. This will probably get about 4, potentially 5 feet tall. Very nice vertical shoots. Very handsome shrub. And then what you want to do after the first year, you don't want to fertilize the first year at all. You want those roots to get established and balance the new top. Let everything grow this year. The second year after planting, you want to select just 4 main stems. Clear out everything else. The third year, you're going to have a lot more stems, going to keep putting up new shoots. You want to select to about 8, maybe 10 at the most, and you want to maintain that balance of 8 to 10 shoots for your bush. Anything that's over 3 years old, take it out at the base. If you don't do this rejuvenating kind of pruning with your currants, what'll happen is you'll get, more permanent, arms, and you'll only get a little bit of growth at the top that will fruit, and it'll get aged out. It'll get disease issues. So really invigorating by pruning and keeping your shrub renewed will pay off with lots and lots of fruit. So get out there and plant your currants. Such a long